I'm going to preview the Baylor at Houston men's basketball game on February 10th, as in like today when I'm releasing this at 8 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. And I'm going to mention one thing first. Josh Ujuwuna did get hurt last game, if you don't know already. With the apparent knee injury, he's having an MRI. We don't know the extent as of right now, or as of this recording, but we'll probably know something down the line. And another thing I want to make mention is that LJ Cryer from Houston exited the last game due to the same hand injury that he's been dealing with. So, and according to Joseph Duarte, he's not expected to miss any time. But we'll see about that. Before I dive into what players are keeping an eye on for Houston, I'm going to have to go over like the overall record and conference record in the last game. So Baylor is 15-8 on the year, 7-5 in the Big 12, while Houston is 19-4 on the year, 11-1 in the Big 12. And Baylor's coming off of a 15-point win against UCF. While Houston, on the other hand, played Colorado, and they won, of course. Colorado has not been the same team since they beat UConn, to be honest, or early on this year, for whatever reason. I'm just saying. And it was like 69-59, by the way. So what are some players to keep an eye on for Houston? I'm just going to go ahead and mention LJ Cryer just in case he does play. I have a feeling that he will, but we'll see. Number 4, 6'1", 200-pound guard. That's a senior. 14.3 points per game. 40.3% on threes on 159 attempts. 90.7% on free throws on 54 attempts. 2.1 rebounds per game. 1.1 turns per game. 0.8 steals per game. 1.3 fouls per game. And there's Emmanuel Sharp that is questionable with an ankle. He's missed the last few games with it. So will he play? Don't know. Number 21, 6'3", 210-pound guard. That's a junior. 12.5 points per game. 43.6% on threes on 110 attempts. 93.2% on free throws on 59 attempts. 3 rebounds per game. 0.8 turnovers per game. 1.3 steals per game. 2.3 fouls per game. And there's Jawan Roberts, number 13, 6'8", 235-pound forward. That's a senior. And I apologize for looking down, y'all, because I cannot memorize all this stuff. 11.8 points per game. 59% on free throws on 61 attempts. 6.6 rebounds per game. 1.8 turnovers per game. 1 steal per game. 1.8 blocks per game. 2 steals per game. There's Milos Uzan, which he was at Oklahoma last year, if y'all recall the name. Number 7, 6'4", 209-pound guard. That's a junior. 10 points per game. 40.3% on threes on 77 attempts. 18 for 27 on free throws, 3.3 rebounds per game, 4.7 assists per game, 1.2 turns per game, 1.1 steals per game, 2 fouls per game. And there's Terrence Arsenault, number 23, 6'6", 205-pound guard. That's a sophomore. 8.6 points per game, 39% on threes on 59 attempts, 74.3% on free throws on 35 attempts, 33.4 rebounds per game, 0.7 turns per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.2 fouls per game. And there's Malik Wilson. He was at Texas Tech prior to Houston, so if y'all recall the name. And I know he went somewhere else. I don't remember where. Not on the top of my head, anyway. Number 8, 6'2", 175-pound guard. That's a senior. 6 points per game. 43.5% on threes on 23 attempts. 70.6% on free throws on 17 attempts. 3.7 rebounds per game. 0.8 turnovers per game. 1 steal per game. 1.2 fouls per game. And there's Joseph Tugler, number 25. 6'8", 230-pound forward. That's a sophomore. 5.8 points per game. 3 for 9 on threes. 55.1% on free throws on 49 attempts. 6.1 rebounds per game. 1.1 turnovers per game. 0.8 steals per game. 2.2 blocks per game. 3.3 fouls per game. And there's Javier Francis, number 5, 6'8", 235-pound forward. That's a senior. 5.3 points per game. 0 for 1 on threes. 67.6% on free throws on 37 attempts, 4 rebounds per game, 0.9 turnovers per game, 0.6 steals per game, 1 block per game, 2.1 fouls per game. And I'm going to only mention one more player, really, and that's Mercy Miller, number 25, 6'4", 200-pound on guard. That's a freshman, 3.7 points per game, 28.8% on threes on 24 attempts, 79.2% on free throws on 24 attempts, 2.1 rebounds per game, 1.1 fouls per game. So as you could tell, the forwards are not like UCF's forwards that Baylor just played against in terms of height. To be honest, so there's not going to be a ton of height difference. But it's just unfortunate that Joshua Jawuna got hurt in the first 5 minutes. And we'll see about him, like I said. And across the board, you need to try to find a way to not allow the crowd to be in this game as much as possible. You got to stay resilient. I mean, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring it to this game. Of course, what you did wrong last game, you got to correct. And I don't care about the officiating, which I know it can be horrible at times, but you got to make plays to win. You got to out-hustle the other team. Can't be intimidated by the other team, period. And what if... And the thing about, and what if you get like a win like this? This would really help boost your NCAA tournament resume, and for sure keep you in the tournament. It's not like I don't think Baylor's going to miss the tournament. It just would help to get another quality win. It's just, and all the people are doubting you right now, so you have literally no pressure going into this game. Houston is going to be ranked. We just don't know where. And Baylor is probably going to be just receiving votes, if they are even, because they did lose to Texas Tech before UCF. You know, I'm just saying. And you got to make adjustments on the fly, not just from first half to second half, but throughout the half as well. And you got to limit your foul trouble, especially the big guy, the front court guys, because we don't have as much depth now as we thought we would. And that's just unfortunate. The good news is the height is not like a big difference. I mean, that's really the biggest positive I see out of this matchup. Is the height difference is not as terrible as it could be. Because it could have been like UCF height all over again. I mean, now, defensively, you need to limit the best players on an opposing team as much as possible and disrupt their rhythm. Cause some chaos, as in like turnovers. You got to limit the points out turnovers, limit the points in the paint, second chance points, and the fast break points. I mean, it's just telling the truth. And another thing, you got to have your bench step up in this game while trying to limit their bench, too. I know. And obviously, if they get in foul trouble, it is on them, but I would try to get some guys in foul trouble, especially like an LJ Cryer, especially if they don't have the second leading scorer for the game in Emmanuel Sharp. That would, and getting a draw on Roberts in foul trouble would really help. Really would. Because he can be a force at times. And another thing, you don't want to let Houston live at the free throw line either, which I know they can struggle at times, but still, you do not want to give them so many opportunities at the line. So, yeah, you got to contain the shooters, contain the slashers. Got to get some rebounds in this type of game right here and limit those second chance points and box out, especially on free throws. Another thing across the board, in case it's a tight game situation, you got to stay poised and find a way to either get a stop on defense or score and take the lead or tie the game. I'm just saying. And another thing I would dare to say across the board, you cannot get down too much too early. I know you beat Kansas at home, but you were down 21 in that game. Even St. John's in that other win when you came back. Don't get down too much too early and try to expect to win, because it has not worked out when you looked at the losses. Yeah, they were competitive with Texas Tech for a while. But then Texas Tech pulled away late because Baylor did not have enough depth. Now they have most of their guys back, and that is helpful in this type of game. Now, offensively, you do need your shooters to step up in this type of game, unlike the last time you were on the road, and make more shots in general, which I know Houston's really good defensively. So it's going to be a challenge. You got to take care of the ball. I mean, obviously on defense, you need to get some steals and block some, but you got to be smart with it. And you might have to go small ball lineup at times. You might have to. And you want, if you get to the line, you got to make them count. Just like you did last game. 86.4% on free throws on 22 attempts. You can't do any better than that. You just can't. And we need Baylor needs Norchad Omier to step up more now with no Joshua Juwuna, and he needs to be careful with the fouling. And of course, you got to have good shot selection on offense, too. I mean, that's the thing. And I am hoping that VJ Edgecombe does not get 3 fouls in the first half, just like he did last game. He had 4 fouls, but he's fortunate that he didn't foul out, but you get the point. And hopefully Robert Wright has a better game than the last one. And Jeremy Roach, yeah, this is his third game here back from injury. I mean, from his second concussion. If y'all don't recall, it was against TCU, and the ball was off at TCU, and he deflected it off at TCU and landed on the floor. So yeah, and we need Jay Nunn to step up, which I know he's been struggling from 3, but he needs to make some shots from 3 or drive to the basket. If not, get to the free throw line and make your free throws. And Jalen Celestine needs to step up. Same thing goes for Langston Love now that he's back in the first game and he played 27 minutes. And you might need to play some other guys like a Jason Asamoah more minutes with no Joshua Juwuna, and I would assume he's out for this game. It's more like, how long is it going to be? Is it the rest of the year and part of next year, or what? And I know it's way too early to talk about the beyond this year, but if it's like Jonathan Chamlachach was, you need to find yourself a starting center for next year, because you cannot rely on a guy that just tore his with a bad knee injury like that. But okay, that's besides me. And maybe Marino Dubrovic does play a little bit more, but I don't know. But you get the whole point. And VJ Edgecombe needs to show out in this game. He needs to. And you don't be shocked if he's the small ball 4 and Jalen Celestine has a small ball 5. Don't be surprised. Don't be. And they might go zone defense some. They might go man to man. We'll see what they're going to do. But I tell you what. All the pressure is on Houston, not on you. Go out, be the aggressors, and don't back down to them. And this would really help yourself in the NCAA tournament seeding down the line. I mean, I'm not saying Baylor's going to miss the tournament. Oh, no. Because I think they're in with one more quality win, which they have some other opportunities. And I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here. You do have Houston again at the very end of the year. You do have West Virginia at home. You got Arizona at home. Obviously, you cannot have any more bad losses like a Colorado. You cannot lose to. You cannot lose to Oklahoma State. You need a revenge against TCU. You can't lose to them twice. Luckily, the Oklahoma State game is at home, but the TCU game is on the road. And obviously, you need to find a way to sweep Cincinnati and beat Colorado at Colorado for your only meeting. But you get the whole picture. And they just need another game that's quality-wise helpful to make the NCAAs here. So let's go out there, give it our best shot. I'm not going to say Baylor's going to definitely win. I'm not going to definitely say they're going to lose. It wouldn't shock me either way, to be honest, because Houston is banged up. And I did not mention one other guy that's out for Houston, but to be honest, he was only averaging 2 points per game. And that is Raymond Walker Jr. Because if they somehow don't have LJ Cryer and Emmanuel Sharp, then it becomes more interesting, to say the least. Because then Houston's down more guys than they anticipated. And honestly, if they do have LJ Cryer, it is what it is. But let's go out there, give our best shot. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to Sims Cars. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more some money at those cars. Like video, comment video really helps YouTube backgrounds. So more people will see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well. And also, you need some second chance points, whether it's like a kick out three or mid range jumper, or even a straight up putback or dunk. You gotta have that too on offense.